Hey Chuck, hope you're doing well. I guess just to start, you guys have already seen Texas. Just are they doing anything different? What have you kind of seen? Just kind of looking over some of their recent games.
They've changed their lineup up a little bit the last few games. Point guard, they kind of flipped the kid that was coming off the bench is now starting. So um, they're playing the same way in some ways. Obviously Mark is a guy that when he plays well, they have a tendency to win. Johnson is, one of the better guards in the SEC, one of the better guards in the country. When he gets going, he's a handful. So they're trying to get the ball to those two guys and give them opportunities to score the ball at a high percentage.
Yeah, and you guys held Tremont Mark scoreless last time you played against him. I guess just what was kind of the game plan around that, and how do you kind of hope to emulate that to have similar success this time around?
Well, he's a really good player, so we got to be aware of him in transition. Got to be aware of him. Um, Make sure that he doesn't get any open looks as long as they're contested and we got high hands early because he's very capable, man. He's been around the block and he can score the ball in so many different ways. He's dangerous. So we're conscious of him. We're fully aware when he's on the court.
And then last one for me for now, just obviously a dude's back was bothering him in the game against Missouri. Is there any update with him and his standing? And are you guys expecting him tomorrow, or just where's that kind of stand right now?
Just taking it day by day, and seeing how he improves.
Hutch?
Yeah, coach, I guess a follow-up on that. Has the dude been able to do anything in practice? I'm not sure how much y'all have practiced since Saturday's game.
Yeah, again, he's been taking it day by day, taking it slowly, trying to make sure that we put him in the best possible position to continue to improve.
And I wanted to ask you about Billy. He's a guy that has looked really good in flashes, but sometimes struggle to stay on the court, foul trouble. Just how do y'all approach that with him, especially if you may potentially be down another guy on Wednesday?
Man, we love Billy's aggression on both ends of the ball. Offensively, he's a guy that can get to the rim and finish at the rim against SEC, rim protectors. And then defensively, he can get after you, whether it's on the ball or off the ball. And from time to time, he'll make some freshman mistakes and be, overly aggressive, or he'll pick up a foul here or there. But we love his aggression. He's just got to be smart and pick his spots. And obviously we need him on the floor. So he's got to continue to be aggressive without fouling.
Jackson.
Hey Chuck, excuse me. Hey Chuck. Big Z, the scoreless game against Auburn, it seemed like the team maybe struggled getting him the ball in the post, and those struggles weren't right quite there against Missouri. What did you guys do differently to be able to find him inside a little bit more consistently?
Well, I think we just watched the tape and studied the tape and took a look at opportunities where he may have had the advantage, where teams decide that they're going to switch their guards on to Z. I think the second half of the season, Z has done a great job, and our guards have done a great job when teams have switched. We've made him pay for it. Z's rolled to the block and scored around the basket. So all we did was watch the film and say, okay, you know what, we could have maybe gotten him the ball in this on this possession, and let's be a little bit more conscious of that going into the Missouri game.
I think Trey Johnson went he scored 24 points, but he went 6 for 22, something like that against you guys. I mean, is that kind of a discrepancy that you guys might be happy with again if he can maybe score some points, but if he's inefficient, that's an okay trade-off for you guys?
Yeah, he's a good player, man. He's dangerous. He's super talented. He can score the ball against anyone in the country. We just want to give him we don't want to give him any open looks. We want to identify him in transition. We want to be all over him on OB side outs, half court actions that they run. If he makes tough shots, then we'll live with the tough shots as long as we're defending the way we're capable and forcing him as well as the other guys on the team at Texas to take tough shots.
Have you sensed, you guys had the three losses to ranked opponents recently, and then you get the breakthrough against Missouri. Have you sensed maybe a boost to morale, confidence, whatever in recent days in practice? Or, you've been playing well. Maybe it hasn't quite translated in anything different around the building.
No, I think it's a good feeling to get a win. whether it's against a ranked opponent or not. But I think last time I was on here with you guys, one of the things I talked about was Coach Cal had mentioned, let's just be the most improved team at the end of the year. Let's keep getting better. And so we've held true to that, whether it's Missouri or any other team, ranked team or not ranked team. Let's just keep getting better in practice. Let's continue to improve game by game and see what happens at the end of the year. And I think we're doing that.
Yeah, just to follow up to that, I know moral victories might not mean much this late in the season, but watching the documentary that Calipari's Razor's Edge, I mean, you guys, the coaching staff, you guys were happy with the team after the loss to Auburn, or not happy, but you recognized how close you came. I mean, how big was that performance, maybe in the grand scheme of things, looking back on challenging the number one team in the country on the road?
Yeah, you clarified it. I'm not sure if we were happy with the loss. Well, we weren't, but it was good to acknowledge that we were up, I think 1 or 2 with about 2.5 minutes in that game on the road against the number one team in the country. It gives us some insight on who we are or who we're capable of being. When we're the best version of ourselves, we can compete and beat anyone in the country. But we've got to be the best version of ourselves.
And last thing, Jonas Adu, I know Coach Cal's been kind of complimenting his defense. Just what are the specific things that he's maybe been improving upon in recent weeks to help and give him some more minutes on the defensive side of the floor?
Yeah, Jonas is last year he was an all defensive player in the SEC. He's seen these teams play. He's played against these coaches. He has a better feel than most in terms of what opposing teams are trying to run. So in practice, it's real subtle. If you're not here every day, you may not notice it. But in practice, he'll take our bigs or our guards and say, "Hey, I recognize this action. This action is going to happen at this time, at this moment. This is what I'll do to help." And then you can see it in the games. He's the anchor. He's completely communicating with the other 4 guys in terms of what actions being run, how we can get him out of it, and staying true to our defensive game plan. He's been tremendous.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
Anything else for Coach at this time? All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. Thank you very
Appreciate you
much.
guys. Thank you.